Apple claims the newest iPhone SE has the toughest glass in a smartphone, and I'm standing on what I believe to be the toughest concrete in my neighborhood. I think it's time for these two to get better acquainted. What I have right here is a brand new Apple iPhone SE. This is an update to the 2020 version of the SE, but most of the changes are on the inside. The body is still the same as the 2020 SE and the iPhone 8. Patrick Holland has a full review of the iPhone SE on CNET.com if you want to know more about the improvements you'll find in the 2022 model and the things that have stayed the same. You can find a link to that and his video review in the description for this video. Today though, I'm more concerned about the changes to the outside of the iPhone SE, specifically the glass. And even more specifically, how the glass interacts with cement. I'm going to be dropping the iPhone SE from a variety of heights to see how durable the glass is under these conditions. During Apple's March peak performance event, we learned that the iPhone SE has a 4.7-inch Retina HD display, which is protected by a durable glass and aluminum design that includes, in their words,
the toughest glass in a smartphone, on both the front and back. This is the same glass as the back of iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 Pro.
The toughest glass on a smartphone. That sounds like my cue. I don't have a way to accurately test whether this is the toughest glass on a smartphone, but I can do a little experiment to see how the iPhone SE holds up to multiple drops on the cement outside my house. My plan is to drop the phone from 3 different heights. 3 feet to approximate dropping the phone when taking it out of your pocket, 6 feet, which is where I like to take my selfies to avoid my double chin, and 9 feet. For no other reason than that's about as high as I can get without climbing on the roof and angering my HOA. I'll drop it on the front and back at each height, and I'll try and drop it as flat on the ground as I can, but I'm not perfect. Got all that? Okay, let's get started with drop number 1. All right, here we go. Drop number 1, hip height, face down, in 3, 2, 1. All right, let's take a look. Oh, that is not what we were hoping for. There is already a lot more damage than I was expecting. At this point, about half the screen is already broken. Down here at the bottom, there's a couple big cracks. There's a big mess of spider webs up here in the top section. And it's sort of hard to see over here on the side, but there's cracks running all the way down along here. Also looks like I got a pretty flat drop because there's no scuffing on the frame yet. If I had to guess, I'd probably say it landed right here first. Nothing's happened to the back so far. The screen still actually works, but these cracks along this side are sharp enough to cut your finger, so I wouldn't recommend using it. Well, that certainly didn't go as I had hoped or expected, but let's see if the back fares any better in drop number 2. Okay, drop number 2, same hip height, in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, that didn't count. Just got a little scuff on the top here, nothing major. Let's try that again, try and get a flat drop. 3, 2, 1. That's better. The back did a lot better than the front did in this case. At first glance, it doesn't look like anything really happened. Up here, this little scuff from where I dropped it the first time. Sorry about that. Another one here on the side we got somewhere. If you look really close right up here on the corner, there's a tiniest crack right next to the camera lens. But overall, besides being a little bit dirty, the back is in fine shape. I wish I could say the same for the front. Now almost the entire front screen is covered in cracks. These bottom ones, I can feel them, but they're not as sharp as some of these down here. So now some of the glass is starting to break away. Isn't just cracked, but broken. The home button still works fine. I can slide my finger across the glass, so the screen is working, but I'm in danger of getting slivers in my finger whenever I do. So since the screen is beyond broken, there's no point in dropping it on the face anymore. So we're gonna stick with the back, and now we're gonna move up to our 6-foot height for drop number 3. In 3, 2, 1. Ooh. Got another side drop that time. Little scuff right here, little scuff right here. And we did end up with a little crack running across the back here. But that wasn't a great drop, so let me try it one more time. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, flatter. So yes, definitely got a flatter landing on that one, and definitely more braking as well. This arching crack along here is the one that happened on my third attempt. Maybe it was a combination of the two drops, but we've got quite a bit of cracking along this bottom section. These cracks are mostly on the surface, but there are a couple here that are a little more jagged. Got some more breakage up here on this top corner. A big scuff here on the aluminum on this side. Some more breaking down here on the bottom and down here. So we really hit all four corners now. These cracks do not look pretty, that's for sure, but it's nothing compared to the front. You ready for this? Yikes. We are completely missing pieces of glass, but look at this. The screen's still functioning, even with a giant piece of it missing. Though I guess that is within the bezel, not the HD display itself, so maybe that's just plastic down there, I don't know. You can actually see all the way through into the case, through that hole. From all the drop tests we've done around here, I don't recall ever seeing one that broke the glass so bad that you could actually see the metal behind it inside the case. Unlike some of the other phones that we've dropped and I can keep using as cameras later on, I don't see much life left in this one. I don't see much point in dropping this phone anymore. It's basically worthless. There's a giant hole in the screen. It's covered in cracks that will cut your finger if you try and use it. The back glass is broken too, though not as bad as the front. But overall, I couldn't see using this phone ever again. So is this the toughest glass in a smartphone? I can't say for sure, but today definitely wasn't this phone's day. It certainly didn't hold up as well as some of the phones we dropped in the past, but my little experiment here is far from scientific, and you may have a very different experience. Of course, the big takeaway, as always, is that if you want to protect the investment of your new phone, you should go ahead and put a case on it. That's it for today. Be sure and check out all of our iPhone coverage at cnet.com and on our YouTube channel. You can check out past drop test videos, camera comparisons, and a whole lot more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Just in case you're feeling cheated and didn't get to see enough drops in this video, here's a few bonus drops for you. First up, the iPhone box. How about this weird hybrid Tigger rubber duck? A big wad of cash. And this broken Cookie Monster toy. All right, I hope that's enough.